Seeing Dan Nevin's work out will make you want to never take your body for granted again. These yoga poses, with their requirement of balance and strength, are hard enough when all of your limbs are intact. Dan practices them on legs that end below the knee.
There's nothing easy about finding balance, especially when everything's off balance in your life.
Dan served in the Army for 15 years. In Iraq, he stepped on an explosive, losing his lower legs. When he came home, he struggled with the mental and physical wounds of war. A friend noticed and finally persuaded him to try yoga, an ancient exercise that connects the mind to the body.
I said, no, I'm a dude. I don't have yoga pants. I like to blow things up. I shoot guns. I eat meat. It's not for me. So she suggested meditation, and I had such good results with meditation. She said again, hey, I think you owe me some yoga. And I tried, and 3 private lessons later, I was enrolled in yoga teacher training.
And I'll be in discovery of chair pose, right? So big toes touch.
Dan is now a yoga instructor, but the biggest part of his time is taken up traveling the country, trying to convince other veterans yoga can help them, maybe even save them.
Yoga has been the most powerful tool for me in healing from the invisible wounds of war. Meditation, the idea of being present and being completely focused on this moment, keeps me out of anything that happened in the past, things that might have been traumatic. So the more I can focus on my breath and where I actually am, using yoga techniques and all the training that I've had, it makes my life the best it could be.
Andrew Coughlin came back from war and faced the same difficulties as Dan, as he tried to integrate into family life. At Dan's urging, he tried yoga.
When I come to yoga, it's not only a great workout. I mean, I leave yoga sweating more than any workout that I've ever done, so I know that I'm working out. But also, it just releases so much negative energy, or any negative energy that I had, and I feel better the rest of the day. I see Dan do it, and I'm like, if Dan can do it, I can do it.
Dan says one of the biggest obstacles to getting more vets to participate in yoga is the stereotype some have of the ancient practice.
How feminine they think it is, or flowery, or foo-foo, or like rainbows and unicorns.
But Dan reminds them it took a lot of courage to join the military. Walking into a yoga studio is not nearly as risky, and it just might provide them the peace and the poses
One more, deep breath in.
to live a better life.
That's why I want to share this with more and more military members, wounded warriors, retirees, whatever it is, because I know the trauma that they're living with. And I know that these tools can help.
When firefighters respond, whatever's burning most likely contains carcinogens, cancer-causing molecules that, when burned, can attack a person's DNA.
He said, your cancer has metastasized to your liver. And so not only is it in your colon, but you have 12 tumors in your liver.
Just looking at St. Johns County firefighter Pat Taff, you'd never know his personal fight. He's in remission from stage 4 colon cancer. His mounting bills paid the last 3 years through generous donations from fellow firefighters.
Without the benefit of others, for others helping me, I would have been out of luck. I don't have $20,000 to spend on cancer. So I've been very fortunate that others have done what's necessary to get me through this.
She says it's $5,000 a vial. You take 4 vials every treatment.
And this is Jack's Fire and Rescue's Lieutenant Dave Thomas, who fought fires for more than 30 years. In fact, he's also still battling blazes while battling cancer that's in remission.
My lymphoma popped up in my neck right here. Is there a correlation to that hood and this where it popped up? Possibly, possibly not. But where did I get it? From the job.
He's talking about the traditional hoods worn underneath a firefighter's helmet to protect their heads from high heat. But those thin cloths don't stop contaminants from seeping through the hoods into the thin skin on the face and neck. Local cancer specialist Dr. Kevin Hunger says those carcinogens can move through a person's body very quickly, but may not cause problems for years.
And if that carcinogen just lands in the right spot, the cell can start to grow uncontrollably, and now it's a cancer cell.
A danger of the job that Gainesville EMT Lieutenant Betty Braun knows all too well herself.
I've been a firefighter for 16 years. My husband was a firefighter for 31. He died from squamous cell carcinoma.
That type of skin cancer killed her husband George just this past spring.
I love going in and helping people. I love to go in and I'm a paramedic. I risk my life because I love people and I want to help. I need to be helped now.
And among these four, the most recent cancer diagnosis.
From the CT scan, they said there were over 50 masses in his liver, over 20 in his lungs, and his entire lymphatic system has been taken over.
Tanya McKay's husband Jeremy is a Clay County firefighter, just told in September he has stage 4 adenocarcinoma, which Tanya says started in his stomach.
We get to the doctor and I said, what's the plan? What are the odds of remission or beating this? And she said, you're not going to beat this. Right now we're just going to prolong his life for your children so that you can make some memories. So my husband, who's 44, we're in the place of just getting him well enough to make memories.
While their doctors say all these cancers likely came from years on the fire line, a couple of life insurance agents have joined these families and others, vowing to wage war against cancer with the help of a relatively new tool.
As we started learning about the higher risk of cancer, we asked the experts, is there a piece of equipment that can help? And everybody we talked to kept saying these particulate hoods.
Jeff Roundtree and Bill Hamilton met us at the fire training facility, which allowed them to put on firefighters' gear to show us how a particulate hood protects.
The normal issue hood, the Nomex.
That's what you have on right
Correct.
now. And then the type of hood that you have on.
This is a particulate blocking hood. So this actually keeps the chemicals that seep through your older type hoods, it keeps it out.
They go inside, and during this test, it's hot in there. And about 1,000 degrees near the ceiling, inside the burn house at the Fire Academy of the South's training facility on Jacksonville's south side. It's where local firefighters practice their skills.
Hotter goes up, and that heat starts cranking down.
Once back outside, Jeff and Bill take off their borrowed gear and wipe their necks. You can see the dirt that seeped through the traditional hood on the left that Bill wore. On the right, the particulate hood Jeff wore stopped more of the dark contaminants from getting through to his skin. These results were after just 10 minutes of fire and smoke exposure from burning pallets made only of wood. Fire training instructor Jason Kerr reminds us, not the more complex carcinogens.
Lightweight construction, the new foam that's out there is twice as toxic, has a faster burn rate. So,
And when that burns, all of those materials
are out.
And they're getting into your skin.
Yes, ma'am.
After learning about those harmful carcinogens, Jeff and Bill say it seemed so simple. Get firefighters these potentially life-saving hoods. So they started a nonprofit group, Hoods for Heroes, based in Clay County. The problem? The cost of the hoods. The two tell me the standard issue hood can cost from $15 to $30 each. We found different types of the chemical blocking particulate hoods can cost as much as $125 each. But comparing those costs to the costs of caring for cancer victims, these four say the hoods can only help protect our heroes.
I can't help my husband, but I don't want someone to go through what she's had to go through and what I'm going through now. These are young guys. They still have a lot of life left in them to be going through this. And if you're going to tell me this piece of material that they can pull over their head before they get into a fire can literally save their lives, then it needs to be done. They need to have that gear.
I chose this dress because it caters to a variety of body types.
Brianetta Humphrey says she can find the perfect outfit for anyone.
You are part of the Quarantine 15 group. This will accommodate you during that time period.
Humphrey's the owner of the Talk of the Town boutique in Avondale. The boutique sells clothes.
This is mom's, or if you want a beach bag.
Among many other things.
Tell me about Talk of the Town.
Okay.
This is your pride and joy. You can see it by the smile on your face.
It is. I believe I was born to own Talk of the Town.
Spend just 1 hour with Humphrey, and the love for her business is evident.
The fitting room area is where we want every person to feel special.
But she admits being a Black business owner in a predominantly white community is not easy.
You have to decide whose face are they going to see when you open the doors. Whose face? We didn't have a grand opening. Why? Because we're Black-owned business.
A year and a half after first opening their doors, Humphrey says she started to feel more comfortable in her role as the face of the business. That's when she was hit with her next challenge.
How have your numbers been impacted by COVID?
Substantially lower. Substantially lower.
A study released by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York revealed Black-owned businesses are twice as likely to fail overall during the pandemic and have been some of the most negatively impacted. But Humphrey wasn't going to let that happen. She started selling items through Instagram and offered appointment-only in-person shopping. And just as Humphrey started to get back on her feet from a business point of view, she says the Black Lives Matter protests around the country put her back on edge as a Black business owner.
I greeted her when she came in with our Talk of the Town greeting, and she stopped me and she says, "Is this your boutique?" And I hesitated before I answered. I hesitated. I paused long enough for her to wonder why did you hesitate? And she asked me, she says, "Why did you hesitate?" And I smiled at her. And before I answered, I guess my face said it all. And she says, "Honey, Black Lives Matter."
A moment that Humphrey says she could have never prepared herself for.
I realized at that moment, actually, I think I was waiting all my life to hear someone that didn't look like me say that.
And it happened inside the store that you created.
It did.
Which is why Humphrey says she will never hesitate again if someone asks if she owns this store.
So I'll tell them to put a shoulder forward.
Lauren Verno, Channel 4.
We give them that moment to where they feel special.
The local station.
Favorite pose. My favorite pose is